At any rate, we were then put in handcuffs and in the back of a car, and off we drove to Seattle. Now, once again, it was quite surreal. Michel, certainly a gregarious person, was all over Terry. I've known him before about his personal life and his kids, and fell in quite easily with the female agent, and it was really taking a Sunday drive with friends down to Seattle. They were very nice to us, and any stop along the way, these agents certainly let these people know that we were to be treated nicely and that we were good people, and that happened the whole way. Now, when we got to Seattle, we were put in holding cells to await going into court. And there was a couple of young gangbangers in the cell with me, mannerly young fellows, just in trouble though, and we were arraigned separately. So Michelle went up first, and then when she came back down, she was put in the cell right beside us, and I was taken out. I'll tell you, by the time I came back, she had been talking to these young men around the wall, and she had them all standing up straight and promising that they would get out of this trouble and to check out cannabis culture and the Prince of Pot, and they were saying, yes, ma'am, we will, and very mannerly. But yes, we carried on from that, and were allowed to come back to Canada. And then eventually we did have to go there again to plead guilty or to be sentenced, I guess. And we had arranged for this deal of 2 years probation. However, the judge's hands are not tied in these cases. He certainly can't do that, and he does have the latitude to do whatever he would like. So when we arrived in court, there was another young fellow who was being arraigned ahead of us, or sentenced ahead of us, and he had been charged with bringing in 450 pounds of marijuana into the United States from Canada, and the judge gave him 18 months in jail. That was it, and that was all. He was gone. And then they called our case. Well, the prosecuting attorney stood up and he read the charges, which carried 30 years mandatory minimum and about $4.5 million in fines. And he said, but we're just asking for 2 years probation. And then he went and sat down. Then the judge said to him, he said, I don't mean to put you on the spot. He said, no. He said, I do mean to put you on the spot. He said, I've been here all day in this courtroom being forced to put people in jail for marijuana offenses, and now you bring me these two, and you don't want me to put them in jail. Well, Michelle broke down at this point because she felt that he might not go for the deal. Meanwhile, the prosecuting attorney, he snaps up to the podium and microphone, and he begins defending the reasons why I should not go to jail. So I had a U.S. attorney in with me, and so I leaned over to her and I said, I don't think I need you anymore. He's doing a good enough job. But I found it quite ironic. Now, here was the very man at the podium who brought these charges against me that I had been sweating over for 4 years. Now he's defending reasons why I shouldn't go to jail. So this was pretty bizarre. Now, the judge did go along with the deal, of course, and we were put on probation. Now, this probation is a little odd to me, too. I'm on probation in the United States. I'm not a United States citizen, and I'm here in Canada. Our probation officers, they said, well, most of this doesn't apply to you because you're not here. But I'm to be a good boy, and I report in once a month and let them know that I am still here and nothing has changed. So, on and on it goes. It's bizarre. We were charged and convicted of importing 1.1 million pounds of marijuana worth $2.2 billion into the United States. So that's what's on my resume now. But we fought the fight. There was not much you can do. our government has signed away the opportunity to actually beat an extradition charge. Now, oddly enough, the other day on the History Channel, I heard about probably the first extradition to the United States was Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull, after killing General Custer, ran to Canada, and the United States demanded that he be returned, and he was. So I think that was maybe one of the first ones, but certainly, as our lawyers had explained to us all along, you don't get out of the extradition. And none of us did. We were all technically extradited. Now, it's just so sad that Mark has had to endure going to jail over this. This is totally ludicrous. I'll tell you, in that courtroom the day that we were sentenced, the prosecuting attorney was there. Now, he was a different man than when I met him the first time at that proffer. At that proffer, he was confident. I had his chest puffed up, and we caught the bad guy kind of attitude about him. But I'll tell you, when we were leaving court that day, he did not have that same attitude. He was by no means a defeated man, but he knew that he was prosecuting the wrong kind of people, and that they were wishing that they had never ever gotten involved in this. I'm sure of it. But nevertheless, Mark was faced with having to take this deal. Now, it's terrible. He's now stuck in a prison in Georgia, and I do encourage you to write to him, send him stuff. He shares that with the other prisoners. He will be a model prisoner. There's no question about it. That he will, I'm sure, change their system. They come and ask his advice. He is very vocal, of course, with his opinions. But he's also helping all of the other prisoners. He and Jody. This is totally amazing to me, folks, that they're so giving, that they're concerned about the other prisoners and the fact that they don't have much access. They don't have, their families are in Mexico. They're not able to visit and bring them stuff and see their friends. So it's quite amazing to me that Mark and Jody, this is Buds, by the way, one of our house cats. He keeps the rat population down to 0. There's another one running around too, but we live with them quite handily. Now, I do encourage you to write to Mark. Go to Cannabis Culture or freemark.ca and look up the address and the way that you can send Mark things in magazines, make their lives a little bit easier. But it's terrible that he is there, and we are working hard to have people Americans send letter to your Justice Department asking for his quick release and return home to Canada. We're also asking Canadians to be writing to our Solicitor General to make sure that Mark is returned home as quickly as they can. And I don't think that they will delay too much, and hopefully we will have him back here, well, by the end of the summer perhaps. It'd be nice. But we've got to do everything that we can. So I'm going to cut it off there for now, and I'm going to try and do these a lot more frequently, and I'll bring you up to date with what's going on. But I sure thank you for tuning in and being here for us. We're here for you, and we'll be here until marijuana is legalized. So thanks for watching the show. Peace and pot. Budsy boy.
It's the bluest blues since you walked out of the door. It's the bluest blues 'cause I won't see you